And welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your host, Daniel.
And Daniel.
Daniel, happy holidays, sir.
Happy holidays.
That's right. It just so happens that we were thinking about wearing ugly sweaters. We didn't plan any of this at all. Especially if you were watching us just in our previous episode. We're filming 2 back-to-back today.
Yeah.
It just so happens to be coincidence.
Yeah. We're totally wearing different stuff, so...
Yeah, I mean, we're not filming on the same day as last week's episode. Who would do that?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Anyway, obviously if you watched this live, if you didn't figure that out, we filmed 2 episodes today, but we wanted to throw on our festive holiday sweaters. Daniel, what are you wearing? Model it. Ready, go.
Hold on. Model it? Alright, let's see.
Yep, here we go. Do a spin.
No, I'm not going to do a spin. I got my Star Wars ugly Christmas sweater. I went for like a sweatshirt because that stuff drives me insane.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel great, but it does work. Alright, let me model mine real quick. I have right here an ugly Christmas sweater with a Tyrannosaurus Rex, also wearing an ugly Christmas sweater, dancing at a disco ball. It's super shiny, although you can't see it in the reflection.
The reflection over there.
So
kind of washes it out.
It does a little bit. And I've had this ugly sweater for many years. This is my go-to. Hey, we're doing something ugly sweater. In fact, I'm wearing this tomorrow for work, which is Holotaki Tuesday, is what they called it. And we're gonna be wearing our ugly Christmas sweaters, and this is going on tomorrow.
Yeah, I actually ended up getting this because I had to go to an ugly Christmas sweater party, and I'm like, I can't. Those I get too hot in those kind of sweaters.
Oh yeah, these burn up real fast.
So I was like, I'll get the screen print sweatshirt. We'll be good.
That's right. And Holotaki Tuesday. It was great. Good job on them for coming up with that theme. Yeah. All right. Today we have a bonus episode for you. We're going to be talking about the upcoming holiday season, and we just decided instead of a specific one of our normal segments, we approach this like our normal bonus episodes.
Yeah.
We have some questions, specifically 8 questions for each of us that we are going to be asking each other. Just talk about maybe some board gamings, but mainly about the holidays and about us, so you guys can learn a little bit more about us as you listen. So hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different than what we normally do, but...
And of course, this will drop on Christmas Day for those who are both listening and watching it back on the YouTube. The ones on Twitch get an early preview.
That's right. So you're going to hear some of these cool things. But before we do that, Daniel, what have you been playing lately?
So there's 2 games I want to talk about that I've played lately. Both played on the same day, which was this past Saturday. One was just one that I got recently, a Kickstarter. My wife told me to back this game, so when I told her, okay, it came in, she's like, okay, we're taking that to our game night, and I'm like, all right. And this was the Fox Experiment. It's a fun little game. Well, not little. It's actually a pretty decent-sized game about breeding foxes and trying to get certain traits into them to score the most friendly fox, or just scoring the best traits, because the pup that you're making at the end of the turn, or at the end of the round, is going to go become a parent in the next round, so the next generation. You're doing this by rolling some dice, so you're going to get... the main thing about this game is that there's 3 things you're drafting, per se, in the very beginning. You're choosing your parents of foxes, a male and a female, and you're choosing your turn order, basically, in rewards for the next round. And so how this works is you have 3 choices. You choose a male fox, you choose a female fox, or you choose a spot on the board. You take the token on it, you'll get the reward on there. If it's later in the row, you will get a friendly token as well. And then you place your thing there, so when the next round comes around, whoever's highest on that track becomes a new first player, and then second, third. So the turn order is always going to change, so you got to pay attention to that aspect. And then, after that first part of the phase, you go into your breeding phase, and this is simultaneously. You're just going to roll your dice, you're going to mark up your cards however you want, you're going to determine the name for your pup. Once that's done, you're going to go to the administration, which is going to help you try to score some cards, try to get some tokens that you can use for other aspects of your main board. And then once you're said and done, you're going to take that fox and you're going to put it up there, whether it's a male or female. It's going to go into the male pile or the female row. And that's going to determine when it goes into the turn order the next round, who gets first selection, where they want to go in the turn order or which male or female fox you get, because the more friendly fox is going to get you points at the end of the game. It's actually quite simple. It doesn't sound that simple, but when you're playing it, it is very phenomenal. I enjoyed it a lot. It's probably up there with another one of my favorite 2023 games that I've played this year so far.
Who designed that one?
It is a co-designed by Elizabeth Hargrave and I can't see what the other guy, Jeff Turner, I think his name is.
Oh, okay. I have one more question. So the foxes that you breed that have the pups, is it pretty vague which ones you pick?
What do you mean, like the pups that you're putting out there?
Yeah, you said like you pick which ones are gonna have the litter.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick the parents. In the beginning of the game, it's gonna be.
Oh, it's not vague.
No.
It's a parent.
Oh God.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry.
That's it. Podcast over.
We're done. I'm so sorry.
It is canceled.
I apologize for anybody. It was a softball, man. I'm sorry.
No, you ruined Christmas.
I've ruined Christmas. I was the Bumpus's hounds, right? Yep. When Christmas started. That's right. Oh, I apologize to anybody who had to hear that pun. Even I'm not okay with that one. But I couldn't resist. Alright, first game I wanted to talk about playing. I'm so sorry, Daniel. The first one I want to talk about is one that you actually referenced last week's episode. You were talking about this. It was a game that you've been looking forward to playing, and it just so happened that the company that makes this all play, well, I have a friend of mine who comes over and plays games, and he's a huge fan of all play. Like, he will back anything from there. And I got a chance to play one of these trick-taking card games.
Lunar?
Lunar.
Nice.
And it's a team game. Mm-hmm. 2 teams. One player plays the rank or the number. Mm-hmm. The other player plays the suit. You each start your hand with 6 cards of each, 6 suit cards, and then 6 rank cards. And those are dealt out amongst the players.
And you pass 2 to your teammate.
You pass 2 to your teammate. Well, I think I think 2 of each. That's how we were playing it. It might have been only 2.
I think it's only 2.
Yeah, but either way, and it was interesting because like it's almost like a 2-player trick-taking game at that aspect. Mm-hmm. But it was interesting to see how you could manipulate whether stuff goes in suit or not. Mm-hmm. If my partner knew that I didn't have the suit that we were trying to go for. If the team plays in suit, then he could purposefully play the rank, so I might be forced to play something that might have been the trump suit, yeah. Which was really intriguing.
Yeah, and it's limited communication, so right. He only knows what he gives you.
Right, exactly. And you know what the part that was the most interesting about it then? And it's something that should have been like more obvious at first, but there's 4 suits, and there's 4 players, and we got 6 of them, so there's 6 copies of each card. Yeah. But the numbers, the ranks, it was 1 through 8. So there was only 3 copies of each number. So you were technically playing with duplicates of random cards that you didn't know which one would come out. Yeah. So you could play like an 8 of like the wolves and then play another 8 of the wolves in the same turn. Which was really intriguing. And the fact that there was like different amounts for those same ones because they still add up to 24 either way. Yeah. That was super fascinating. I love it when designers add a weird little math twist to something. Yeah. And I really like, for example, like Phil Walker Harding in Barron Park, how like they have the 12 pentominoes, which is all the different possibilities that he could have made with 5 squares, and he just decides to throw that in there, and that works perfectly for 4 players. You get 3 each. Oh, works out. I just love little nods to very specific math, and I really appreciated that. And then also on top of that, it's not just flat out. There's not bidding. Yeah. You are aiming for trying to get within a certain range. If you either do really good or about equal on your tricks, how many you score, you could totally get more points than your opponent. But there are certain cards with stars on it that give you free points. So it was interesting because like our friend Jim and Katie, they were on the same team, and I was playing with my friend Clint, and when they were playing, they started doing pretty good. So me and Clint, we just looked at each other and just went, we know what we need to do. And we started dumping tricks and failing everything we could and push them into the 0 zone.
Oh, okay.
Because we forced them to take too many tricks.
Yep.
You will love this game.
Yeah, I love
this. This might be your favorite trick-taking game when you play it.
Once I saw it, like I didn't back the Kickstarter because it was going on the same time of like other Kickstarters that were going on. They were much more expensive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll just buy them off. I'll play, and they're still pre-order. I can probably pick them up. I just can't buy anything right now. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing this one. This one and Mori are the two that I'm looking forward to out of that Kickstarter. The only other one I kind of want to look at is Bacon, because it's card shedding.
Yeah. And see, I think Bacon looks really fun for me too.
Yeah.
But I do, like, halfway through the game when I was playing it, I was like, okay, I see what it's doing here. I see what we're doing. We're having a good comeback. I'm like, and I looked over at my friend Clint. I'm like, this is already my favorite trick taking from all play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By far. And I liked Ghost of Christmas.
Yeah.
9 Lives, it was okay. But
I haven't played 9 Lives.
It was okay. I mean, a lot of people like it. I just didn't care much for it. But Ghost of Christmas I liked a lot. This is by far the best. Hands down.
In my last game, I'm going to talk about what better way to play but a Christmas game and talk about a Christmas game on Christmas Day. I got my copy of Santa's Workshop in the mail, and I recently played it.
Did you play it?
Yeah, I did.
I'm a little jealous.
It's really, really good.
Cool.
So it's funny. I was talking to the wife about it before we decided to take it over to our friend's house. I read the rules to see how it played and stuff like that. And so I read the basic rules first, and I'm like, all right, let me pull out the advanced rules real quick. And they pulled out the advanced rules, and I'm like, no, we're playing the advanced rules. She's like, why? And I'm like, because you and our friend Angel are not going to enjoy yourselves in the regular rules, because it's simple worker placement with the standard rules. With the other one, you have like these advanced different things that you're playing like ornaments in the standard rule. You're playing it to your own personal tree, whereas in the advanced rules, you're playing it to a group tree, and you get the reward of what you cover plus what you put out there for your thing. And then it's going to give you like the bonus cheers. Another thing about the standard rule, it only plays in 6 rounds, whereas this one plays in 9 rounds. Allows you to build a better engine aspect of it. Sure. But yeah, it was fun. Me and my buddy got into an argument about something, but I find it interesting about why it was, because
it's the time of cheer. You shouldn't be arguing.
Well, it's about wording, because when I explained the game, you have a choice with your workers. Because in-game scoring is you'll get 2 points if you get 2 advancements onto your elf. You have 3 elves. So basically you need to get 6 different advancements onto your elf to get 2 points per elf at the end of the game. But one of the advancements is you could choose when you get the advancement either to get a bonus of a certain item, or you flip it to the other side and it becomes +2. In the wording it says you choose that to gain an extra resource during the game, or it gives you a +2 in-game point, or +2 in-game.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking it was like it would give him +2 every time he collected something, because he was thinking the point total around the board is in-game. And I'm like, no, that's points during the game. In-game means just what it says, in-game. And so we went through all that, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to talk to my friend Danny, who talks a lot of games. When you see in-game, that means in-game. And I had to clarify to him it means in-game, because there's a spot on the board where, like, if you go to the Christmas tree, you could either take the first player token, and I love this specific rule of it too. You choose to give it to another player, or you have to move it off someone who already has the first player token. So if you take it, you can't sit on that one by sending your elf out there.
Okay.
Because if you have the first player token, you have to give it to another player.
Fair enough.
And then the other one is like, you go there, you put your ornament on the tree, and you get a victory point. And I'm like, does this say in-game point, or does it say just point?
Right.
He's like, just point. I'm like, because those are the points you get during the game. Whenever we build a toy, those are the points, once it's built, that you're going to get in the game, not end game, in the game. So anything that references in-game, it's stuff to be scored at the end of the game. And so, yeah, that was that whole argument, because he was totally cheating by giving himself 2 points, whereas everybody wasn't giving ourselves 2 points. And he's like, it's just worded weird. And I'm like, yeah, I get that, but when it's saying in-game, it means, because everybody at the table understood what I said, you either choose it to get an extra material, or you use it to give you a bonus 2 points at the end of the game. So if you put one of your elves that have both of those on the 2 side, instead of that elf being worth 2 points at the end of the game, it's going to become 6 points at the end of the game because you're going to get a bonus for every 2-pointer on there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a big struggle, but everybody loved it. My wife, of course, thrashed us like always.
Oh, sure, yeah. So your argument was moved,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just how people understand differently, but it's like, yeah, it's a bit different, but like when they're talking about points during the game, it's talking about, they just say points, they don't say in-game points.
Right.
And so that's what I was trying to explain to him, is like everything else says it's points during the game because you're scoring it during the game. In-game is for end of game.
Yeah.
And so...
But to clarify, you never reached out to me to ask me clarify.
No, I said I'll talk to you when I see you on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But for sure, and for everything I read, it says... in game.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, in everything I've seen, like I just recently saw Rado's run through with Raul, and he's talking about that too. It's the in-game scoring mechanism aspect of it. But yeah, no, it was thoroughly fun. I do enjoy it. It's not going anywhere. It's actually a very beautiful version too, with Andrew Bosley art. With the special one that I have for the first setting was like embossed gold flake-ish cover. Mine's number 160 out of, I think it's 4,000 is what the original print run was. But it's gorgeous. I love this game. It's not going anywhere. It is my favorite mechanism, so this is another great Christmas game. Santa's Workshop.
I do want to try this. Hopefully you'll enlighten me over the break.
Yeah.
And show me, because I'm intrigued by this. Alright. Last game I wanted to talk about was a game that I had been playing on a video game recently, and when our friends got together this last weekend, we were talking about games, and I was like, you know what? And this was right after we played Lunar. I was like, I kind of want to play another card game. You guys up for another card game? They're like, yeah. I was like, I've been playing this one on 51 Clubhouse, the Nintendo Switch game. It's called President, and it uses a normal deck of cards. And I'm like, I really want to try this because I think it sounds interesting. It's kind of a shedding game. Well, it is a shedding game.
Yeah.
You're trying to get rid of all of your cards. You deal them out as evenly as possible. There's some really funky rules in it because, from what I understand, it's a really old game.
Yeah.
And as I was explaining it, they were just looking at me like, "What are you even talking about?" Like, for example, the cards are in order by how powerful they are, but it starts at 3, goes up to King, then Ace, then 2. 2 is the highest one in this game, because. Why not? Right? Sure. It's an older game. People did that for no reason.
Yeah.
But then jokers are higher than that. Like, you can actually play a joker as its own system or as a wild.
Okay.
And stuff like that. And then at the beginning of each round, you have the president, whoever is the highest rank in the round, charges taxes to the lowest rank. So what you have to do is, like, if I'm rank 4 and you're rank 1, because it's only a 4-player card game, you're the president, you're charging me taxes. So that means you give me whatever 2 cards you want. I have to give you my highest 2 ranked cards. So I have to give you jokers and or aces.
Yeah.
Or 2s if I have them, etc. Highest rank. And then the second and third place, they exchange 1 card each. And in the same way, whoever second gets the highest ranked card from the third. And there was one hand where my friend Clint, he had, he was the president. He got highest rank. That was number 4. And I handed him my cards, and he was like, "Those were your best?" I'm like, "I know. I'm not going to do good this round either." It led to that moment. It was like, yeah, have fun with those. Those are my highest 2 ranked cards. And he was like, And I was like, yep, rank 4 again right here. And there's some funny parts in it too, like, because like there could be like a revolt, for example. Like if you get rank 1 in the first round because you're the first to shed all your cards, on the following round, if you don't also get rank 1, you immediately become rank 4.
Oh,
which is hilarious, like, honestly, because if anybody else, the other 3 players go out before you, boom, gone. You done. And the way it works is really fascinating, too, because, like, you could play, if you have to follow the same type of trick, or same type of pattern that the people play.
Yeah.
So if you play, like, a pair, I could play any pair that's higher. So if you play a pair of 4s, I can do a pair of 6s.
Got it.
And then a pair of 10s, whatever. But I can never do less or more than a pair, ever, until that happens. But if you play something that has an 8 in it, it immediately clears and you become the lead, right? And so like there's that middle ground where it's like, yeah, 8s aren't that great, but if I play a pair of 8s, then suddenly I decide what it is. It's the only game like that where you have to follow the pattern, and I had a 4 of a kind in my hand, and I did awful because I could never play it. I didn't want to split it to be 2 different pairs because it was a pretty low. It was like a 4 of 4s, right?
Yeah.
And so it was so fascinating that you could have such a really cool hand and be absolute trash at it, like at the same time. It was a fantastically little fun game. I think I might show you guys one of these days on my pick, and because I think our mutual friend Bryce, he doesn't like trick taking, but I think he would.
He doesn't mind card shedding.
Yeah, and once you get past like those weird funky rules, like the tax and like the dropping rank and like eight clears and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then you get the hang of it, and you're like, oh, okay. And then we were just satisfying. It's like boom, 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 like just messing with each other. It was really satisfying. So that was President was the name of the card. I think there's a couple other names for it. It's not President on Board Game Geek, but my friend did find it. I think A-Hole is one of the names.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, and then there was one that was actually published under a name too, but I don't remember.
Well, I think the reason why it's President because it's on a Switch game. It might be. I think A-Hole is its proper
That's true. They probably couldn't. Like that's why it's Telestration, not Eat Poop, you cat. You know, like, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Cool. So that was the second game I played.
All right, so let's have some fun and let's talk about Christmas and/or holiday.
Yeah. Now, before we get into that real quick, I just don't want to say, if you're watching this live, seriously, go back Puppy Pile by Thing 12. More than anything else, you need to do it. They need your help. They are not sponsoring us. We are saying this on our own free will. We think this game looks cool, so please go check it out.
If you're watching this re-upload, it's done, and hopefully they have late pledges.
Yeah, absolutely. And also before, I just wanted to say real quick, like, so you and I both celebrate Christmas. We're not hyper-religious, but we do celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
And I do respect a lot of the culture behind that. But we do also want to say, if you celebrate any other holidays, happy holidays to you. Yeah. We appreciate you for listening to our podcast.
I think as of recording, Hanukkah just started. I think they're on their 3rd night, so happy Hanukkah to our Jewish friends.
Yep, and we won't be recording this before, or any episodes before, I don't think. Or we will be recording one more, but happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Anybody who celebrates
when that starts up, there's no Muslim holiday that's going on in this month. So.
Yeah, exactly. So just spend time with family, have fun, play games, have fun with friends, and if there's any games that are based off of any holidays that you celebrate, tell us about it. We'd love to hear about it.
Exactly.
Cool. All right, with that being said, our bonus episode is just simply a Q&A. We're going to ask each other some questions that we both came up with. I've not heard his questions before. He hasn't heard mine.
Yep.
So we'll just flip the coin once and we'll follow the pattern from there. Sounds good?
Got it.
All right, here we go.
And I'll start and you'll finish.
All right.
So my first thing is, one of my things I like about Christmas is the traditions that are going on for different stuff that you do, that different people do. So my question to you is, what is one of your favorite family traditions that you guys do for this holiday?
Ooh, family traditions. Prank gifts. Hands down. That is easily one of my favorite. And it's an unwritten tradition. But
most traditions are unwritten.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where it's like that's the first thing. I mean, we normally set up our Christmas tree like the day after Thanksgiving too, and we normally take it down the day after Christmas or by New Year's or something. But that's less of a tradition and more like that was one of those things where gag gifts is a huge thing. Me and my siblings grew up. We have a very demented sense of humor. Same with my parents. They always.
Well, I know everybody heard it at the beginning of the game or the episode.
Oh yeah, no, we have a very demented sense of humor. We do, and I don't know what it was about my family, but they were like savants when it came. Like they were mind readers. It was literally. May I borrow Hero Realms?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, if this was like wrapped up, right? My family, and I was pretty good at it too. They could take up a present. They're like, all right. Yeah, it's this, and they say exactly what it is, and the point that made it so amazing was the time when my sister, she shook a box of Legos, and at first we were like, okay, well, of course she's gonna know it's Legos, right? Shook it, and then proceeded to say the exact model, and I'm talking like, and then, oh wow, that's this set, you know, it was like. How? How? So we started doing gag gifts as a way to kind of thwart that. But not only just that, just to cause havoc. I remember one time I wrapped up a gift inside of a water jug.
Yeah.
That was like they knew it was a water jug, but they're like, what the heck? Like why? But the best one of all is one year, and I think I told this story before on the podcast. But
well, you've told this story multiple times to multiple people, and it wasn't just 1 year that you did this.
Well, 1 year, it started off 1 year, is me and my brother, we went into our room and found one of my sister's movies that we're like, which one could we wrap up that she wouldn't notice? And we found a DVD for Orange County. And so we wrapped it up and put it under the tree. And that year she opened it up and she's like, oh, thanks guys. Like, you don't seem thrilled. Why? It's like, oh, well, I already have it, you know? It's like, no, you don't. No, what I do. It's in my collection. No, we made sure you don't have it. And she walked in there and saw the gap missing where it would be because she alphabetized them. And came out and was like, you guys are jerks. And we had a ball with it. And we loved it so much we did it again for her birthday that year, the following year. And then again for that following Christmas a third time. At which point she threw it away. So the third year in a row, I bought a new copy. And we did it again. And she threatened, she was like, don't ever buy me a copy of that movie ever again. We're like, all right, we promise we never will. So the following year I bought her a poster for it. And we continued to do stuff like that. And then 1 year, we stopped after that, but a number of years later, I ended up buying her really nice tickets to a concert she wanted to go to, but I put it in an Orange County soundtrack. Just as a one final little nudge right there. Good times. Yeah, so gag gifts, huge in my family.
Nice.
All right. Daniel, where do you normally celebrate Christmas? Where's your go-to location? Is it here, family?
Lately, normally it's been here. And the big part of it, too, is my wife was usually on call for Christmas, so we couldn't leave the city, so we'd always just spend Christmas together. If we could go out, it was either 1 year when my mother-in-law was living here, it would be at their house. And then mostly it's just over with my family in El Paso. My grandmother lives over in the northeast of El Paso, so we'd always go to her house on Christmas and visit with my dad for a little bit, because he'd always do stuff like on New Year's Eve with his church and his family. Mm-hmm. So Christmas, he would be alone for a little bit. So after my parents got divorced, we'd go spend a few hours with him, exchange gifts there. But once my wife became a lead, or just got into MRI in general, and became a lead tech as well, we wouldn't be able to go with family. So that is mainly just here, and so... But this year, we're going to go down and visit my family on Christmas Eve. We're still just going to kind of chill here on Christmas Day and go visit with my family on Christmas Eve, because we don't know if my wife is going to have to fly out early the day after Christmas. So I just wanted to, have a chillax Christmas here.
Makes sense. Cool. So actually, you're at this house.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Well, this will be only our third Christmas at this house.
Yeah. A higher up. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. When she was a lead tech, yeah. And the thing about it, too, is it got better towards the other end of it, because she would always take Christmas Eve with the one of the person that she worked with, the other MRI tech where she was at the last 2 years, because her family celebrated Christmas Eve, so on Christmas Eve, so she would give her that day off, and then she would have Christmas Day off, but that was only the last 2 years, so.
Makes sense. Cool. Awesome.
All right. So my next question to you is, what is your favorite gift that you ever received as a kid or as an adult?
Oh, man. Dude. All right. I'm going to have to think about that, because, other than my children, of course.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not specifically saying Christmas. I said favorite gift.
Favorite gift. Oh, man. I got Gloomhaven for my birthday 1 year.
Yeah.
From my in-laws, who know nothing
no
about
less,
this.
yeah.
That's incredible. My mom has gotten me some good stuff. Ah, jeez. Probably my brother. He bought me a $400 DJ set.
Oh, nice.
And it was a full mixing board, dual CD deck, PA system. And he bought that for me after he got one of his first jobs, and he was making decent money. And I remember him and I walking into that store and him going, you know what? It was like, is this something you really want to do? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, music is my thing. He was like, I will buy this for you as long as you keep, like, making sure that you're doing this. And that was huge. Like, I still do music from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, not the one you're going to hear in front of this episode. I'm going to get that one. But all the other podcasts is your music.
Right, exactly. So I was making music for a long time, and DJing and techno music, like, that was a big lifestyle for mine. And the fact that he, like, and I told him I'd pay him back, too, and I think I did. I hope. But just the fact that he did it, yeah, you're close. Yeah, Introduction to Musical Racket. It's a C.
C instead of a K, yep.
Yep. But yeah, that's the racket is spelled right. Yeah, I mean, that's just
what it sounds like to do.
I mean, that was kind of the first, like, 7 albums were a little shaky. But, like, when I got into, like, album 10, I was making some decent music.
Yeah, I think most of our intros for, like, the podcast on YouTube and stuff 11, like that is, like, 10 or 11.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it was just the fact that he did that was already meaningful enough. And I still own all of that DJ equipment. Still this day. I bought some newer stuff. I've gotten some bigger stuff. But the fact that he did that, I did a lot of my DJ work with that stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Wow. Man, I didn't even think about that. Like, that was heartfelt, man. All right, what's your go-to Christmas game?
My go-to, honestly, I didn't really have a lot of go-to Christmas games. One, I'm relatively still kind of new to the hobby. I mean, it's only going to be a decade. Well, now I'm a veteran per se, but in all honesty, when you talk about our friend Dom's been in it about 20, 30 years. So
sure.
I'm only in it, going to be a decade come March.
Yeah, sure.
So honestly, didn't play a lot of games. Growing up, we played a lot of Rummy. Risk was another one that my dad would play with us because all the boys were off from school. Mm-hmm. So we played Risk around this time too. Not really a good Christmas game.
No.
But as of now...
What's more Christmassy than global domination?
So, mainly it was like Gin Rummy or just Rummy in general. Mm-hmm. Playing different little card games. Spoons for when I was younger, or Slapjacks as a kid. Mm-hmm. But now as an adult, the one I would always bust out around Christmas time was Ghost of Christmas once I bought that one. Okay. Honestly, now is probably going to be, if I want something like a little heavier, Santa's Workshop. Mm-hmm. Holly Jolly is now like a go-to that I'm just going to bust out. If I'm going to play 2-player, Santa versus Krampus, Dice Throne is another one. But growing up, we didn't really have a lot of go-to, but now I do have some stuff. So
cool. Awesome. Yeah, I haven't played Spoons ever, actually.
Spoons it's interesting. It's kind of aspect of a trick-taking. Is someone plays a certain card, you have to reach for the spoons, and if you're the last one there, you're basically the one that's out. In that sense, so
interesting.
It's an interesting game. It's a riff on trick taking. I do enjoy. I did play it a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rummy was probably the big one because my dad, the adults would play it, and then when we all started getting teenagers, they would teach us that too.
Cool. We played Taxi Cab. That was mine.
Okay.
That wasn't a holiday game. That's just like out of like the card games where like everything's wild and crazy. Taxi Cab was ours.
All right, so my next question to you is...
Oh, jeez. 30-plus people, family events. Ooh, that's a lot of spoons.
What is your favorite thing about the holiday?
About Christmas specifically?
Specifically, yeah.
Ooh, my favorite thing about Christmas. Getting presents. No. No, I'm a huge gift giver. I love gifts. Especially recently, like, I always used to really like getting gifts. Like, that was my favorite thing, was shopping for gifts for everybody else. Mm-hmm. And that's still my favorite thing about it is I feel like it's a very good way to show appreciation for people. I was actually telling my mom recently, because we celebrated my not birthday recently. Yeah. And I decided that I'm going to start giving her gifts on my birthday. Like, and that sounds weird.
Because she did all the work.
She did the real work. Like, let's be real. I need to celebrate her for birthing me, you know? Like, so that's what I'm going to... legitimately, I'm starting doing that next year. That's going to be the new thing, is I'm going to celebrate my parents for my birthday. That's what I'm going to do. Good catch. But as far as Christmas goes, like, I love giving gifts. Like, I will buy... everybody a gift if I ever could, right?
Yeah.
If I had the money to it, every one of my friends would get $100 gifts easily. I would gladly do that because I'd much rather see everybody else.
I'm the same way.
Like, I love watching people like unwrap. It's like, I know what that is. Like, I can't wait to see your reaction. Oh, and you open it up, you're like, oh, I already own this. So like, haha, Orange County strikes again. You know, like I love that. There's something so great about it. Yep. Creative Chaos gave me some gifts yesterday on Animal Crossing. Yeah. No, and I do appreciate it, but like I love giving.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love giving gifts as well. When I was younger, when you're a kid, I did enjoy giving gifts, but I also enjoyed receiving them.
Sure, of course, yeah.
But now as an adult, when you see the joy on people's faces.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's so good. It's so exciting. Now that I have kids as well, like I mean they're spoiled, so they're less appreciative. But when you get that one gift where they open it up, they're like, "Wait, really? Yeah. Are you kidding me?" Like, I love that. Like that wonder of just a moment where like, oh my goodness, like that's amazing. Like, how could you do that? I'm huge on that. All right, so Daniel, this was like one of those like icebreaker questions that I got at work during one of my meetings.
Okay.
When is the point in your life where you start listening to Christmas music each year?
That's an interesting one for me.
Not when you're accidentally forced to listen to it.
No.
I'm saying when do you start?
Growing up, it was always after Thanksgiving. Like when we're putting up all the Christmas stuff, because growing up, always putting up the Christmas was the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. So the tree would go up, the decorations would go up, the stockings would go up, that sort of thing. And so my dad was a big fan of Christmas, so we would be listening to Christmas music the entire time. Mm-hmm. After his passing, it took me a couple years to really want to get back into Christmas music. I did listen to Christmas music the year of his passing, the year after, but it was later and later. Now, I personally started listening to Christmas music around Thanksgiving again, and it's just because it's something I remember him by, and it's one of those things that I remember him doing growing up, and I've turned to more like the alternative Christmas, like "Oi to the World" from No Doubt is one of my favorite Christmas songs and stuff like that. So
I never heard that.
It's really good. So yeah, for a while it took a little bit to get back into it, but for me it was always after Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, because that's when we used to do a lot of the decorations. Now it's around Thanksgiving, like when I was smoking the turkey for Thanksgiving this year. I put on it on the background, I had the fire going, and it's just something to remember him by.
That's awesome. Right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Love it. Cool.
All right, and back to what you were asking, is there a favorite game that you like to play around this holiday?
Now it is Christmas, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, the board game.
Nice.
Not the mini version.
Yeah, the little one is... I never played it, but it did not look good.
No. Although I did play a couple new Funko ones that I do like. The Coca-Cola Polar Rollers.
Yeah.
That one's pretty fun. It's silly. But then I also played The Grinch Grow Your Heart.
I heard that one's actually really good.
It was interesting. Nice. I enjoyed it. But yeah, that is my new go-to. Like I played that the past this year and last year now, and I plan on keeping it every year doing that because that's one of my favorite Christmas movies. But before that, the one I would do was Letters to Santa, Love Letter.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I just happen to have that version.
Yeah.
And everything else Christmas-wise, I didn't have many. A few years ago, I bought 12 Days, and that went over okay.
Yeah, my
family didn't like it as much. But yeah. I like it quite a bit, but if I had to go to it, now it's National Lampoon's, just because you get the moose mug.
Yeah.
That you roll the dice out of. I love that.
If you bought a copy of Holly Jolly, would you put that into your Christmas rotation?
I don't think... Sure. It would. I don't think it would beat out National Lampoon's, though.
Okay.
I really don't. Because there's something about that one that's like, I really like what it does.
Yeah.
It's really simple, and it's just silly. All around silly.
Yeah, no, yeah, I get it. Another one I want to give a quick shout out to when it comes to like the board games, the Muppet Christmas Carol Funko game. Mm-hmm. That one's really fun. I do enjoy that one a lot.
Sweet. Is that going to be in your rotation now?
Oh, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, It's not going anywhere.
Cool. All right, next one for you. If you could take a non-Christmas game and retheme it to Christmas, which one would it be?
Well, I would say Final Girl, but I'm already getting that. It's funny. I just have the perfect answer. Me and my wife were talking about this the other day. Out of all the games that I could retheme as a Christmas theme, I would choose Horrified. Because think about it. You got the bad guy from Die Hard. What's his name? Hans Gruber.
Sure, yeah.
You have Krampus that you could fight.
Yep.
I was telling her, because we were watching The Grinch when this was going on, I'm like, imagine if we had like The Grinch and your whole thing about him is you're supposed to make him grow his heart.
Yeah.
It'd be
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost would be another one. So when I was talking about that, she's like, oh yeah, and then like all those licensings, I'm like, if you can get the license, like if you have to fight against Harry and Merv from Home Alone.
Yeah. You could do the Ghosts of Christmas Past.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like the Ghosts of Christmas.
Yeah, the Ghosts of Christmas, stuff like that. Or like I told her, like, horror fights simple enough mechanic wise. You got Krampus, you got Krampus, you got the Grinch, you got like different stuff you can work about. It's funny that you mentioned that because we were literally just talking about this like Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, you got me sold on it. Like I just threw this question together. Yeah, sure, that'll be a quick, like, I don't know, and then we pass on to the next one. No, that's legit. I'm intrigued now.
Because I love the way the mechanism works, that each villain, or I guess you can call them villains or whatever, play differently.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking, like, how the mechanisms work, the one that I was talking about was, like, imagine playing against the Grinch, and your whole thing is about him making him love the spirit of Christmas and making his heart grow. And so, like, when you first do something, all right, his heart grows this once, and then you got to do it again, and you get his heart grows. It's kind of like Medusa, where you have to keep pushing her into the different mirrors, and you need to get all 4 mirrors before you can finally defeat her. You got to do certain things for him to get his heart to grow, and once it's fully grown, you can defeat him by giving him the Christmas spirit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sold. If they make a game on that, it would be so good.
Speaking of Christmas-themed villains, my wife showed me a picture the other day, and I guess like these parents were tired of doing Elf on the Shelf, and so they ended up doing it with chicken wing bones, and they made the shape of the elf with his hat on it, and a note from Santa saying, "The elf was delicious, had cookies for dessert, thanks." And then signed Santa. It was like there was still like juice and stuff on the phone. It was like, oh,
that's sad.
That parent is demented. I don't think they would have actually given that to their kids, but man, that picture was funny.
All right, so my next one here, we're already on our 4th one. We're halfway done. So, cool. What is your build-up for Christmas?
Build-up? What do you mean?
What is it what makes you really, really excited to get into the actual Christmas? Is it decorating? Is it the shopping?
Shopping, hands down. I mean, I'm okay with decorating. I like decorating. We do the Christmas tree. But shopping is when I really go into it. I was telling some of my coworkers, I'm normally done shopping by this time. Normally, I'm just into the point where I'm wrapping presents. And I save all my movies for Christmas Day. So I'll watch Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation all on the day of. Mm-hmm. That's how I really feel that it's Christmas at that point. But shopping, hands down. Like, I like shopping for myself, much less everybody else, you know? Like,
in all honesty, I enjoy the shopping. It's my least favorite thing to do right up until Christmas. Like, I'll do it throughout the year. I hate shopping at Christmas.
Oh, I love it.
I hate... Ugh.
Like, one of my favorite things is because like I said, I normally get done early.
Yeah.
So, like, I like going to Black Friday sales when I have no reason to shop. Like, It's like, I'm already done shopping. I'm going for the entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious. Like, I walk by all the lines. I'm like, yeah, I don't have to stand in that. You know, like, man, I'm sounding like a complete jerk.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, though, is that, like, there's something that's very gratifying. It's like, yeah, I'll see what everyone rushes, and whatever's left over, I'll see if I can get a deal or two, whatever.
I think there's only a few people I still have to shop for, or me and the wife. I'm done with my wife shopping.
Yep.
I'm just waiting for one more thing to come in the mail. But all her rest of her stuff is hidden. She knows where it's at. She's just not allowed in this office. So.
Ah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Yeah, and I mean, like, being around crowds of people, that's never bothered me.
Well, the thing about it for me,
cool with shopping.
And the reason why it's big for, like, I don't like doing, like, the Christmas shopping around the Christmas time, I'm a big guy, so I take up a lot of space. Yeah. And people are just bumping into you left and right. I'm looking at something on a shelf, and next thing I know, I'm getting bumped into because they're walking by, and they don't, like, say, excuse me or anything. Like, they just hit you and move on, and it just drives me insane.
Oh, yeah, you should just belly flop them and kill them.
Oh, it just drives me insane, yeah.
All right. Speaking of that, do you have any New Year's resolutions that you're planning this year?
I never do New Year's resolutions, other than the...
Well, then let's skip that quick. If you had to pick one.
Usually, right now, I'm just about getting healthier. That's my whole thing is I got to get healthier. But honestly, I don't do New Year's resolutions outside of our gaming goals because honestly, I'm always just trying to better myself in general, and I don't need the new year to do it.
Hey, NPC Aaron. Hey, stick around for after the episode. We're gonna talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I remember about at least 10 years ago, I made the New Year's resolution to never make New Year's resolutions,
and you've kept it.
Yeah, and I've kept it. But and not to turn this back on me, but I don't know if that was one of your questions, but no, I don't find it. My New Year's resolution is to ask more questions about New Year's resolution. No. I set really ambitious goals for myself. It doesn't have to be at New Year's. I don't go by the end of the year I'll do that. But last year, for example, my goal was to do the Bataan Death March.
Yeah.
And I was already preparing for it, so I knew that was a thing. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to. It's not a goal. I'm just gonna buy the ticket and I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah.
Whether I make it or not, that's my fault, But I'm gonna go do it, so I better try my best, And stuff like that is really just great for me. Mm-hmm. And I'll do these big projects, like the One Hit Wonders I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2.5 albums left.
Nice. So I set certain goals for myself during the time. As you can see, this sweater is massive on me now because of my weight loss and stuff like that. But I never really set resolutions or anything like that because when I was younger, I never met them. So one of my resolutions back then was, I'm gonna, practice and get better at playing my sports that I was playing. Oh, yeah. Ended up getting injured that year and never played that sport again because I dislocated my ankle and got a grade 2 concussion. So
yeah, that's a good reason not to.
So at that point, I was just like, you know what? I can't really deal with the resolutions anymore. They're bad luck because every time something happens.
Fair enough. Was that football?
No, that was actually baseball.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
A concussion in baseball. Did you get hit with a baseball?
I was a catcher. One of the reasons that the state changed their rule is I was one of the statistics of people getting injured. Because there was a play at the plate. So you can't run into a catcher anymore in baseball. And that's in the major league.
You ever could?
Yeah. You were taught, growing up, to run through the catcher when there's a play at the plate because if they drop the ball, you're safe. Now you're called out because I dislocated my ankle and I got a concussion. But it wasn't just me. There was just a lot of historical injuries, statistic-wise, in New Mexico. So a lot of states were starting to ban, especially in the little leagues and the high schools and stuff like that. Mind you, this is the early 2000s. So
sure, yeah.
Another big one too is, and this is why I got changed in Major League Baseball. I think in the early 2010s, there was a big catcher who got his leg broken at the play of the plate. So now there's a whole rule about that there too. So it's just, to make them drop the ball, exactly. So, that was a whole thing. And you were taught about it at a young age when I was playing, not T-ball and stuff like that, but when it got more into competitive, when you're doing the 10 and up, 11 and up and stuff like that, where you're the ones pitching and batting and stuff like that, they're taught if there's going to be a play at the plate and you think you're going to be outrun through the catcher and try to knock the ball out of his hand.
That sounds really demented.
Yeah, so that's why I don't make New Year's resolution, because the last time I did it, I got injured.
That's a good reason. That's a very good reason.
All right. Well, I know we're talking about my weight loss and stuff like that, but I'm a foodie. I love eating stuff, and so my question to you is, what food signifies Christmas to you?
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes, really?
Mashed potatoes, yeah.
That was always a Thanksgiving food for me.
It is that too, but my family would basically make a Thanksgiving meal on Christmas also. They would do the same thing except it would be a ham instead of a turkey. But every other side was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, my family was pretty much the same way. Yeah. But for us, instead of a turkey, it would be two things. It would be a brisket and it would be ham.
Yeah, I would have to say, oh well, you know what? No, also. Caramel corn. That would be a big thing. No, eggnog. What am I saying? Eggnog. How did I forget eggnog? My wife hates eggnog. Well, she likes it. She can't drink it. She's crazy lactose intolerant. And my son doesn't like it. It's only me and my daughter, so when we buy eggnog, it's me and her. But my dad used to be able to drink eggnog by the gallon.
Oh, yeah, I love eggnog. It's one of my favorite things.
Delicious.
To the point where my wife makes me eggnog now because we're doing this weight loss thing, and so she makes a special keto style eggnog where it's for I think it's like 6 ounces. It's 4 carbs. Sure. So
oof, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that heavy in carbs. Like a normal 8-ounce glass of eggnog, like the Price's eggnog, is like 20 carbs. And since we're trying to do kind of this like keto diet aspect of things, just to help our weight loss and stuff like that, a high protein, low carb diet, she makes our own eggnog.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good. And my favorite thing about it doing is, I had it earlier, is I'll put it in a cup of black coffee. I'll put the 4 ounces in there and have eggnog coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Eggnog and cookies are my 2 go-to Christmas foods.
Oh, my God. How did I forget eggnog? I mean, mashed potatoes is up there. Don't get me wrong. We always eat it. But, oh, man. Wait. You've never had eggnog. Is there something in that you can't drink or really don't like?
It probably doesn't sound good either.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of eggs. Like, it doesn't taste like eggs. It's almost like a weird milkshake.
Which is funny because it's made with egg yolks.
I mean, it is, but like, it doesn't taste like eggs. Like, just not a fan of you. Okay, I mean, that's fair. But I don't know what it is about eggnog. But, oh my God, that stuff is amazing. You know what? I'm going to skip to one of my other questions. What is your perfect Christmas meal? Speaking of food.
My perfect Christmas meal. Brisket. Right now it's mainly smoked brisket because that's what I do. But my dad would do a roasted brisket in the oven. That was like our go-to Christmas meal growing up as a kid, as a family. Because brisket, we could hold. If you got like a 25-pound brisket, it'll feed 30 plus people.
Yeah.
So we would do brisket. Probably mashed potatoes. I'm trying to think. Green beans. Like the way my grandma made green beans were really good. It wasn't like a green bean casserole or something like that. But it was good. Side of eggnog, of course. And surprisingly, because I always correlate pumpkin pie with Thanksgiving, the pie or the thing we would always get at Christmas was some type of cobbler, like a cherry cobbler or a peach cobbler. Either my mom or my grandma would make it, or other family members. There would be pies and stuff like that, but cobbler with some whipped cream or ice cream on top of it, that would be my go-to meal because that's what and also my wife is big on baking. It's cookies. The cookies that she makes every year at Christmas are just phenomenal. She does these Lebkuchen cookies. They're like a German gingerbread. Oh, they're so good. That's what you had earlier.
Oh, is that what I had? Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, his wife can make some cookies, let me tell you. Ooh, boy.
So, yeah.
Like, I'm very happy with the fact that, my wife, she's been wanting to get more into cooking lately, and baking and stuff, but my daughter loves baking, so she even offered, like, for my Secret Santa, he was like, I like anything cinnamon. And she was like, I can make some cinnamon cookies. I was like, no, don't worry about it. I'll just buy something and get it done with. But she was like, can I still make cookies? I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can still make cookies. Secret Santa from work?
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because, like, none of us put food on our list, all right?
Bryce might have.
Oh, he might have, yeah.
We don't know.
It's true. It was all on that Amazon wish list.
That's true. It might have been.
Who knows what he added? I haven't looked at it in a while, because, like, once I'm done with my shopping, I don't have to look at anybody's list.
That's right. All right, on to you, sir.
All right, so my next question for you is, and we just talked about it recently, but what is your favorite Christmas movie?
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's my least favorite. I don't
love it.
I can't stand Chevy Chase.
That's fine. I get that. I still to this day laugh every single time I see that sledding scene.
Oh, that sledding scene's hilarious.
Where he's spraying the thing. Cause like,
I take that back. It is not my. This episode is making me hungry. My least favorite Christmas movie. That is not. It's been usurped as my least favorite. It's a fine movie. I don't mind it as a movie.
Yeah.
It's because of freaking. I just don't like Chevy Chase. Elf is my least favorite Christmas movie.
I don't like Elf. I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't stand. I can't stand it. But no, that one scene is just like the funniest thing in my world. Just like watching him get on the sled after spraying it down. It's like, later, dudes, and you see like this like pitiful push and just rocket, like, and it just erupts into flames as they're going by. I don't know why. Every time I still laugh at that scene. I anticipate that scene. I'm like, all right, here comes the scene. Here comes the scene. I just love it. And like even last year, I was surprised because I pointed something out to my wife, and she was like, I never noticed that before in the movie. And like when Clark and Eddie, they're walking down the grocery store and they're talking, and he puts a big old thing of like dog food down, and Clark is like looking at a thing of light bulbs, and he sets it down, and then there goes another bag of dog food on top of the light bulbs, and they just continue conversation without anything saying, but like, she never noticed that before, and I pointed out, it's like, I love the light bulb, and she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, the light bulb part, like with the dog food, and she's like, what are you saying? I'm like, rewind it, and she would watch this like, I've never seen that before. I'm like, it's good. I know. It's really good, isn't it? Yeah, it's so good. I like it a lot. Unpopular from me to most people is that I don't like Will Ferrell. So, yeah, no, I don't like Will Ferrell. I mean, everything that's not movie things that he does, like, I mean, like his SNL skits were okay.
No, there's one movie that is like a guilty pleasure for me. It's
Talladega Nights.
No, I that movie.
Step Brothers.
No, I don't like that movie either. And it's not really a super comedy. It's called Stranger Than Fiction. He played a character that is basically getting written, and he's supposed to die, and he's trying to...
Yeah, I've heard about that. That sounds
I really do love that movie. It's really, really good. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure for me on that one.
Absolutely. No, but easily Christmas... National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. With Christmas Story being a close number 2.
I do love Christmas Story a lot.
I had a goal one year. I've never been able to... Or no, I think I did it once. My goal was to watch all 24 hours of A Christmas Story. No? You wouldn't do that?
No, I like my sleep too much.
Ah, that's true. I mean, I it's better now. Alright, so, Daniel, you briefly referenced it earlier. We did a Christmas Secret Santa, not just you and me, but it was a group of ours, and we all pulled names, and we got each other gifts. What's the one game you're really hoping for this year?
Ooh. What is the one game... But mind you, I have 2 Christmas lists, game-wise. Sure. One that I sent with you guys and one that I sent to my wife to send to other people. Because I'm like, a lot of the games that are on that list are like some of the heavier games that I'll play with you guys. And the other ones, I don't know. I'm trying to remember every game that I put on my list.
Well, if you're not remembering it, then that's probably not the one. Like, is there one that you're really, really hoping for?
That I would get this year?
Yeah.
Or just this year in general, or just something that I'm going to get as I would hope for as a gift?
This year. This year in general.
Well, I got the thing that I was looking for the longest time, Lorcana over there. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think, what game do I want out of everything? I don't know. Let me look at the thing, because I know there was... I think I put it on our specific list, so I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up on our group chat. Because I'm trying to remember exactly what the name was, because I know I put it on that one. I did get my Sleeping Gods in, so I'm quite happy about that one.
Sure. Well, not like games like you're expecting that you ordered. I'm saying like ones that you didn't have any say in whether you were going to get or not.
Yeah.
Like ones that you're just like, if you could get a game this year, what would you really want it to be?
Well, if I got to choose a game that I wanted to get, it'd be there we go. There, I found it. The one I was looking for, it was... there it is. Stardew Valley, the board game.
Oh, okay.
I've been wanting that for 3 years since it came out, so that's the one I've been looking for a while, is Stardew Valley, the board game. So cool. I'm like, I know I put it on that list. I just trying to remember which one it was.
Right.
The other one is kind of like Isle of Skye, the big box, because I'm collecting the Kennerspiel.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah. So my last question to you... And it goes to what we were talking about earlier, and you said it was actually one of your favorite things to do. What was your favorite gift to give someone else?
Orange cut? No. When I made my father-in-law cry.
Oh, okay.
Do you know this story?
No, I don't.
I've only ever seen him cry twice. Ever.
Nice.
One was when he found out he was going to be a grandpa with my son. That was he was
over the moon.
Yep. And the way that we gave him that gift is we bought 2 little baby shoes, and we gave one to my parents and one to her parents. And so they're like, "What does this even mean?" It's like, the rest of the present comes later. And like that was like a really, really like emotional thing. But the other time was a gift that we like to pick like one person of the family to get like a really big gift every year if we can, and it's like really surprise them. And one year I was talking with my wife about it, and we're like, you know what, my father-in-law really deserves something. And We coordinated with my mother-in-law. She was in on it. Everyone else was, except for him. We got him tickets to Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
At the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Which is a nice stadium. I've been there.
On the day after Christmas.
Oh, that's cool.
We literally said, she literally told him, it's like, hey, you need to pack your bags tonight, because we're leaving. After he opened up, he was like, are you serious? And like, yeah, you're leaving. You're going to go see the Cowboys play tomorrow. And he was like, what? And he was just in tears because he's a big Cowboys fan, you know. And it doesn't get better than actually seeing them. And we got him some good seats too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like mostly nosebleed, but still, I mean,
don't get me wrong. I've been to that stadium. The tickets that I paid for were like third row, third deck, in the end zone.
Yeah.
I used to joke about it because it was by the stripper poles, is what we call them. It's where the cowboy cheerleaders would do their little dances in those little platforms up there. We ended up on the sideline because we gave some beer away, and they gave us sideline passes.
That's cool.
So.
That's really neat. Yeah. I mean, that stadium looks amazing. I would go to that stadium just for the stadium.
Yeah, the stadium's really
that
cool.
sounds amazing.
So yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, but that was huge that year.
Nice.
Oh my goodness, was that big. All right, and my last question for you, we're gonna tie it on back right here since we're filming our podcast, and I know you don't do New Year's resolutions, but what would you like to see become of this podcast as of the next year? Where do you see us? What do you see us doing?
We're doing the.
Or what's
we're still doing the grind. What we've been doing. That's what I see for us is we're still going to do the grind. Hopefully not taking the break. Like this year we did a lot better, but there was times where we had to take breaks due to health issues and then beforehand your father passed away, then my father passed away, so we need to take that break. I kind of want to be consistent with it. That's one of my goals with this one. I also want to see growth, which we are seeing. November was like one of our best downloaded months lately on our statistics.
That's cool.
We're actually getting downloads in like the UK and Russia for some reason.
Hey, appreciate anybody overseas who's listening. And Australia, not overseas. We love you too. Thank you all.
So it's been really intriguing to see the growth of this thing, and that's the main thing is I wanted to see it just keep growing. I'm not too worried about like YouTube and stuff like that because we're not going to hit the algorithm. I don't cut the videos down. Screw that.
Yeah, we don't care. That's regardless.
Yeah, but like the audio side, the growth on the growth on the Twitch side has been really cool. The fact that we're now affiliated on Twitch, I just want to kind of keep seeing that going on. So
yeah,
and I'd be annoyed if it was him.
I agree, but I'd be more confused.
We
don't play many war games.
Yeah, anyway. Exactly. All right, with that being said.
All right, well, we want to thank you all for tuning in. If you ever want to join us on a live episode, like our friends Corrupt Senate, Illuminous, NPC Aaron, thank you for tuning in, Creative Chaos. We appreciate you all. Everybody else who is in here on this part, we really do appreciate every single one of you. Join us live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames, and make sure you follow us so that way you can get notified when we're on streaming. NPC Aaron, hopefully that'll get worked out
for you.
We love it when you join us.
All right, as well as all video re-uploads can be found on YouTube under youtube.com/@everydayboardgamespodcast. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you could do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video down below, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
If you ever want to reach out to us directly, you sure can. Whether it's to enter in future ideas for contests, give us ideas for episodes, or just reach out and say hello, you can email us at everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com.
As well as all audio versions can be found on most podcast platforms. This is under Everyday Board Games Podcast that includes Spotify, Google, Amazon Music, Podbean, and now Apple.
And we want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming. And on a personal note, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.